Now, there's a lot of information out there that our ABC law enforcement agencies, um, CIA, FBI, were all agencies organized by the elite to protect their money. Now, we know that the CIA intelligence agency, and I don't think they're very intelligent at all. Some of them, I think some join with honorable reasons, but the system was set up not for honorable reasons. The system was set up by the elite, the Bushes, those Rothschild, those Rockefellers, those six ruling families, and that Bohemian Grove, where they sacrifice people and have their rituals and stuff like that. So they decided to come up with the CIA at that Bohemian Grove here in California. And these what they call them, what Bush belonged to, that Skull and Bones, these secret societies. They the ones set up these ABC agencies. Now, the FBI was formed because during the time of the Depression, there was the banks. The banks were being robbed. There was Bonnie and Clyde, Ma Barker and her boys, Babyface Nelson, Dillinger. All of them were robbing banks, and they had to protect the central banking system. Now, this was the time during the Depression, and of course, we know these demonic things called the Depression. This was time of Depression, and there was soup lines, nobody was working, and there was no money, no jobs. So these bank robbers, Dillinger, Bonnie and Clyde, Babyface Nelson, were robbing the banks. But during that time, the people, they were folk heroes to the people, because Bonnie and Clyde, Dillinger, and a lot of them, when they robbed the bank, they took the money and they fed these people. The banks didn't do it. The bank robbers were the ones who were taking that money. They were the Robin Hoods at that time. Take from the rich, give to the poor. So they were folk heroes. So they formed the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. That's when the FBI was formed, during the Depression, when the bank robbing started. They were to hunt down these bank robbers and kill them, because they killed every one of them. They killed Bonnie and Clyde, Dillinger. They wound up killing all of them, or most of them. But again, it was to protect the central bank. Now, the CIA has been in a lot of, and these agencies have been in a lot of things like forming the terrorist groups like that. They formed ISIS. We know they formed the Taliban. ISIS walking around with American shoes, driving Toyotas, and having American guns. And I've seen the videos when ISIS was supposed to be beheading some American military. I looked at the videos of some of them, and those are not Muslims or foreigners that cut off them American heads. If you look at the masks that they have on, those are Americans killing Americans. Those are American military that cut off some of them soldiers' heads. So, these demons have been making the terrorist groups and then scaring us. But see, wonder who was greatest tricks for us. It's a book called Hoover's Secret FBI, The Burglar. And in that book, Hoover and Nixon were talking about making Americans paranoid. Cause of atmosphere of paranoid, where the Americans would then give up their rights to feel safe. So that was Hoover's plan, to call American to be in a position of being paranoid, frightened of terrorists. CIA also formed the Ku Klux Klan organization. You understand me? CIA was the one who organized and formed the Ku Klux Klan. Now, think about it. White people going to church on Sunday, reading their Bibles, praying to God. But what God-fearing white person will go to church and then come out and burn a cross in anybody's yard? No God-fearing person will burn the cross. So it wasn't about, I'll say it again, it wasn't about race, well, it was about religion. It was about Christianity. No God-fearing person, white, black, yellow, would burn a cross. So, again, atmosphere of paranoia. If you can find that book, Who Was Secret FBI, and how him and Nixon said that any person that thought outside the norm, who had uh, any ideas, that's why they were targeting the students at these colleges, at these universities. Remember back then in the 60s, they were killing students on these campuses. Anybody who had a thought was a threat to the empire. That's what Nixon and Hoover discussed one day. You can see them transcripts. That anybody who had original thought would be a threat to the empire. So they had to shut down the universities. That's why they control what we have access to of what we learn. All right, guys.